Make some noise for Dr. Linda Nicoll, everybody. Hi, everybody. I am Dr. Linda Nicoll, and for those of you who don't recognize me from your last pap smear, you may also recognize me from JDate. On JDate, I describe myself as a 34-year-old single Jewish physician, which would make me JDate Gold. I am the perfect son-in-law. The obvious problem with that statement is that I'm a chick. So in order for my JDate profile to have the same attractiveness as a woman, I would have to describe myself as a 21-year-old bisexual heiress to a brewery fortune with a double-jointed vagina. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I can make a vagina joke because I am an OBGYN. Thank you. And for those of you who've never seen a vagina before, and you know who you are, an OBGYN is an obstetrician gynecologist. Some people like to refer to me as a vaginacologist. I find it very offensive. I prefer to think of myself as a dog in a box. Somebody over there just got it. Being an OBGYN, being a doctor, I see the world from a different perspective than you do. There's a lot of these TV shows that kind of exploit these big families. You know, there's the Octomom, and there's John and Kate +8, and there's my favorite, which is TLC's 19 Kids and Counting. That is now my favorite show in the world. Before I became an OBGYN, I used to see that show like you do. I would watch it and I would say, who the hell wants that many children? Now I see it as an OBGYN, and I think about that woman's doctor and how he got paid for 19 deliveries. And according to my calculations, that man just paid off his student loans and bought himself a Lamborghini. And according to my calculations, after 19 kids, he can park his Lamborghini in that woman's vagina. I'm sorry, guys, it's just a joke. It's not true. A Lamborghini's a sports car, would fall right out. If it needs an SUV, maybe a minivan. Being a doctor has also ruined one of my favorite sex games. I find I can't play doctor. It gets too real for me. So a guy will be like, hey baby, you want to play doctor? I'm like, yeah, big boy. What kind of insurance do you have? Cigna? That's some good coverage. Why don't you take off all of your clothes, put on this paper gown? I'll be back in about an hour. Made it very difficult for me to fly on airplanes because I get really nervous, but not about what you would get nervous about. You might get nervous that like the plane's going to crash, you're going to be delayed, you're going to miss your connection. I get worried that I'm going to hear, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a doctor, would you please identify yourself to the cabin crew? Thank you so much. And I feel like it's unfair because this only happens to doctors. I have never heard them announce, if you're a teacher, if you're a lawyer, if you're a dentist, if you're a hygienist, would you please identify yourself to the cabin crew? I've never even heard them ask for a plumber. And I've thought about this and I figured out why. Because apparently you can fly 3,000 miles with a clogged toilet, but not with a dead pilot. So this actually happened to me. I was on a flight and a man passed out in the aisle right next to me. And I actually shouted the words, is there a doctor in the house? I mean, on the plane. Shit, I am the doctor. Okay. So I woke the man up and I said, are you okay? And I did what I do as a doctor. I asked him, how old are you? Great. How many children do you have? How many of them were C-sections? What was the date of your last period? did what I normally do in the office. I told them they had chlamydia. I mean, honestly, everything turned out fine because I'm a great doctor. I did a great job. I can't necessarily say the same thing for the woman on the other flight who gave birth and was assisted by a proctologist. Being a doctor, I also hate certain commercials. I see the commercial for the first response early pregnancy test. We tell you 5 days before your missed period. No offense, who the hell wanted to know that soon? It totally ruins periods for me because as much as I hate them, they mean I don't need another abortion. Right, Mom? She's in the back. And the other thing is, knowing 5 days sooner that you're pregnant means that's 5 days that you could have still been drinking. If you wanted to know. So you watch that commercial and it says, knowing that you're pregnant the moment that it happens, technology is getting close. Do you want it that close? Do I want my ovaries to sync to my iPhone? Do I need your sperm to friend request my eggs? And if my uterus could tweet, what would it say? At womb with Wi-Fi. Did you already have plans for 9 months from now? Hashtag, I think we're fucked. Nowadays, nobody really wants technology. They want natural childbirth. So what does natural childbirth mean to you? To me, it means, first of all, it should happen outdoors. That's natural. I think of it, mentally picture this. The sun shines down, warming the pregnant mother's belly, and she knows it's time. With a primal roar, she brings forth the child from her loins, severs its umbilical cord with her teeth, and licks the afterbirth off its smiling face. She then lifts the baby on high to introduce him to all of his new animal friends. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not natural childbirth. That was the opening scene from The Lion King. Thank you so much. You've been a lovely audience.